DMV has recently incorrectly registered to vote about 1,500 people who are not citizens. How do you fix problems with DMV?
Right. So I'll get to the DMV in a second, but a couple things in your question that I think are important to address. Number one, we don't know. We're not talking about 1,500 non-citizens that were registered to vote. What we're talking about is 1,500 individuals who either said did not attest to their eligibility, and it could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's citizenship, maybe it's age. You're also not eligible to vote in California if you're on parole for a felony conviction, but your parole has not been completed. There's different reasons for not being eligible. Or, again, these individuals simply just did not attest. They didn't say they weren't eligible, they just didn't affirm their eligibility. So we're still mining through the records to see what we're talking about here, but it's incorrect to assume it's 1,500 non-citizens that were registered to vote. Another important distinction is exactly that it's the DMV that made the mistake, right? There's some folks, and I've gotten calls overnight, oh, these are people who are not eligible, but they're registering to vote. That is not the case. These are individuals who specifically told DMV either A, I'm not eligible, or at least would not affirm to their eligibility, and the DMV mistakenly registered them anyway through no fault of the individual. So it's on the DMV here, not on the individuals.
But nonetheless, when you're talking about cybersecurity,
right, no, I understand.
And ensuring the integrity of the vote.
Absolutely. And so what we have done is take it. So what we have done is, as soon as we found out about this, we took decisive action to cancel the registration of those 1,500 individuals. So they're being taken off the rolls. Yes?
Just with regard to the timeline, early September, 23,000 voter registration errors through Motor Voter caused by DMV technicians toggling between multiple screens and that data being merged.
Correct. You did your homework. Very good.
Yes. And then 1,500 additional people had errors. Would you call for a freeze of the Motor Voter program, as at least one or lawmaker has implored you to do?
Right. Look, it's certainly on the table. We're doing the homework as we speak of what does that mean and what it would take. These mistakes from DMV are absolutely unacceptable. We were told last month in the instance of the 23,000 that, they had a fix. And while this problem seems to be different, it's another mistake nonetheless, which, my concern is it risks jeopardizing confidence in the electoral process, which is why yesterday I called for an independent audit or review of the DMV's technology and their practices, because they've demonstrated that they're not capable of handling it themselves, and the stakes are too high as we approach the voter registration deadline and the November election to have any more mistakes like this. And in the meantime, I've also asked for additional procedures or reviews to assure the accuracy of the data before they transmit from DMV to our office. So, DMV needs to get it together here real quick.
How concerned are you that the DMV didn't catch this error on their own? That it was someone in Los Angeles, a Canadian non-resident, who reported it to the LA Times, and that's how this whole thing came forward?
No, hugely concerned. Hugely concerned. The legislation calling for California Motor Voter was passed and signed into law years ago. The technology was years in the making. And for the DMV to still be suffering from these types of mistakes is absolutely unacceptable. We've been working diligently on the election side to administer elections appropriately, properly, doing voter outreach, etc. We depend on accurate information and data being sent to us from DMV. So when they're making mistakes on their end, it creates more of a workload for county elections officials and my office, and it does, raise questions about the integrity of the process. The good news is it was discovered, the records identified, and we're going through the laborious process, but we're going through the process nonetheless to cancel those registrations.
Last question.